What the heck is up, everybody? It's our second video. Welcome back to the Movie Cart channel. I'm Carter. This is Luke. Today we are talking about Fantastic Four 2005, directed by Tim Story. It's gonna be a good one. It stars Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, Griffith. Is that how you say his name?
Is that Mr. Fantastic? I
Yeah, the British man. Kerry Washington and Julian McMahon, R.I.P. He passed recently.
can't wait to talk
But
about Carrie Jim. Go on, yeah.
so before we get into the movie and the plot specifically, I want to ask you, what did this movie mean to you when it came out? When 7-year-old Luke Gibson saw trailers for this, what resonated with you?
So I, from I think about 5 years old on, I was getting monthly Fantastic Four comic books mailed to me. Like I was a monthly subscriber to the Fantastic Four. They're my favorite group of heroes. So when the movie came out, I thought this is the most perfect thing that's ever happened to me. I was like, yeah, they
Naturally.
perfect. Like Johnny Storm's cool. Like yes, 7 year old Luke had no complaints. We'll get into how I feel now, but yeah, at the time it was a big deal. I loved it. I will say though, when I'm trying to think back about my theater experience, it's mostly just Rise of the Silver Surfer memories.
Mm,
I definitely saw this movie in the theater, but I don't think it left as big of an impression as the second
yeah,
movie. Yeah, I definitely in the theater because my parents were like, "Well, here's the Fantastic Four guy. We gotta give him what he wants." But
gotta appease him.
yeah,
I
but
I actually didn't see it in the theater. I was given a Sophie's choice, if you will. My dad said, "I'm taking you to one movie, Fantastic Four: Alien versus Predator." And 7-year-old me was like, I mean, I got to see the aliens. It's supposed to be a little scary. Like, got to show I'm a big boy. I got to check it out. Yeah, I ended up watching it for the first time like that Christmas. I think I got it on DVD. But my only other like connection before that was a lot of the toys and merchandise. Like I remember, do you remember the Thing feet they released?
yeah, I had the Thing feet. I had like Johnny Storm hands. I had all the action figures. I had weird like Mr. Fantastic extendable fingers or something. Like every piece of merchandise I unfortunately did own.
There was some weird stuff, but the one that sticks out the most was the Thing feet, and then the Mr. Fantastic Stretch Armstrong.
The Stretch Armstrong ball, that's what it was, yeah. And they had to do the Thing feet because they'd already done the Hulk hands from the Eric Bana movie.
Gotta switch it
So
up.
you gotta go with feet.
All right, so the first thing I think we should talk about, especially with the Fantastic Four, is the casting, because obviously it's like a huge family dynamic. Like they're supposed to be pretty much a family. And what did you think of the chemistry of like the main four? And then we can kind of go into like Doctor Doom and other characters.
The main four all looked very good, and if the script had been a little better, it would have played well. Only Storm was a little old.
Yeah.
He maybe could have been not a couple of years older than Jessica Alba, but that's neither here nor there. I I do like the casting. I'll get into the problems I have with the way they played the characters, but I think everyone like really plays at least aesthetically how they should.
I
Especially,
agree.
I think the Mister Fantastic and the Sue Storm. Honestly, everyone other than Chris Evans, I think, is pretty much perfectly cast aesthetically.
That's fun. Like aesthetically, I would agree. I think that Chris Evans, I forgot how funny this movie is. Chris Evans and Michael Chiklis as Human Torch and the Thing. They honestly had me cracking up multiple times. That
I
I feel
couldn't,
like
I couldn't disagree more. But
really, I thought this movie was so funny on rewatch. What'd you think of on the chemistry between Jessica Alba and Yoan Griffith? I think his name. I literally wrote this down, and I can't for the life of me remember how you pronounce that man's name.
yeah, he's certainly not a star. But I
You didn't see 101 Dalmatians back in the day? Come on,
I
live
like how
action.
I like where they got in the movie, but And if we're gonna get to complaints later, then we'll do that. But I hated where they started, and they could have. Again, they look like they're straight drawn from the comics. They look
Yeah.
great. It's just nothing about the characters pleased me at all. At all.
Not even the Thing. I love Michael Chiklis. I feel like he does a great job.
So too specifically, the Thing I thought was the only well represented character in the movie.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely did the best with him as far as the four go.
Yeah.
As far as the least good, I feel like we'd both agree is Doctor Doom, but maybe not. um,
I I don't think Doctor Doom was in this movie.
it's it's Norman Osborn from Spider-Man. It's like they saw the Sony Spider-Man. They were like, we just have to do evil businessman CEO again.
It was Norman Osborn mixed with Darth Sidious. There was no no Doctor Doom to be found. Absolutely not.
Yeah, we can get into that a little bit more when we get into the story because I'm sure you have some some strong feelings, as do I. But yeah, I guess my first question as far as the plot goes, was it good?
The plot?
Yeah, just the story in general. Like, do you think it was well written as far as the story outline, not necessarily like specific dialogue and stuff like that?
No. I don't think it was terrible. I actually think it was a pretty entertaining movie. It was not a well written Fantastic Four movie. I don't know why we were introduced to Reed Richards as a loser. He was clearly, and it undermines the whole character of Doctor Doom, who is jealous of Reed Richards for all these reasons. And in this story, he has no reason to be jealous of Reed.
No,
And
he's literally won.
yeah, he has Sue Storm. He's the Baxter Building is being foreclosed on.
Yeah, he's lost everything.
Yeah, I mean Reed Richards is an idiot who has one believer, his buddy Ben Grimm, who's kind of just Tony Soprano.
Dude, he's John Stockton in this movie. The way Ben Grimm is assisting everyone. I mean, especially with Reed and Jessica Alba. That blew my he's like Reed Richards in this movie is like when you're falling asleep at night and you realize, "Oh, that girl was flirting with me like a year ago." Like that was him. That's his character arc in this movie is realizing that like women like him.
Yeah, there was nothing that was offensive from a plot standpoint until you remember that it's supposed to be a Fantastic Four movie.
Right. I would agree with that. You know, as far as the first act goes, I actually found it pretty enjoyable. I mean, the whole space scene, the mission, I feel like goes really well. And that actually reminds me another hilarious thing is Doctor Doom orchestrates this entire mission essentially to say fuck you to Reed Richards and propose to his ex-girlfriend, sets them up. He essentially sets them up to get back together. It's insane how big it blows in his face.
Why was he there? Why did Doctor Doom have to be that it was so frustrating. But I want you to know, you said the first act of that movie. That was only the first 14 minutes of the movie. They're already
the whole
back.
Space scene?
Yes, they are back on Earth after the disaster at 14 minutes.
That makes sense because I was trying to plot out like what do I consider the first, second, and third acts. Yeah. Kind of impossible. And yeah. I feel like that's kind of due to the pacing. Like it's a pretty dense movie for the runtime.
It's not super long by any means. Bear with me for a second, but at 14 minutes, they've already exploded. They're back on Earth. And that's about when we're getting the Johnny Storm scene when he's with the doctor and she's like, "Oh, you're hot."
Yeah, Maria Menounos from Newbie, if you're familiar with that Cinemark show.
By 30 minutes in, Ben Grimm is revealing himself to his fiancée.
I have thoughts about that.
Action-packed. Like, so much has happened. 35 minutes into the movie, they make the save on the bridge, which is an
that
awesome
whole sequence.
We'll talk about that a little more, but that's awesome. But that happens at 35 minutes in. The next time anything remotely interesting happens is at the 1 hour and 17-minute mark.
What is it?
It's when Doctor Doom turns Ben Grimm back into his human self.
It does pick up, like, it's a pretty exciting ending from there, honestly.
Yeah, that's 40 minutes! Like, there's 40 minutes where we're just hanging out with Johnny Storm at a motorbike park,
You'd enjoy the motocross event?
No, I didn't.
I wrote down some of the ads from that. It's the Whopper from Burger King,
Pepsi.
Sobe energy drinks, and then there's a giant sign that says "Live by the code, Mountain Dew Code Red."
I saw that one. Yeah, I was very happy about the Mountain Dew Code Red shout out.
I love how he's like, I gotta get out of this house. I'm tired of being cooped up. I know what I'll do. I'll go to the MTV motocross special.
I just and I don't need a classic golden age comic, but Johnny Storm was a kid with a heart of gold, and he liked fast cars and stuff, but he wasn't just
Yeah.
a total piece of shit. And Chris Evans sucked. Like he was really mean and like crass throughout the whole movie. I didn't like him at all.
No, I I do love when they get back from space initially, and it's from Ben's point of view, the camera is, and Chris Evans is sitting bedside, and he tells him, the doctors did everything they could for you. It's gonna be a shock. And you think it's gonna be his transformation, and he gets the mirror out and he looks totally fine, and he just hits him with, they just couldn't fix your face, man. I'm sorry. I actually love that fake out. It was pretty good.
I thought that was very funny, and I think it's worth noting the Ben Grimm stuff, all the Thing stuff. It's like really
Yeah.
and emotional. And the weird part is everything else is played for like laughs, and I don't know. It just seems tonally kind of opposite. Where like Johnny's cracking jokes, and even Mr. Fantastic will be like, "Oh, I can stretch, and things are fine," and Ben Grimm's like, "No one's ever loved me."
You know what the scene gives me insane chills when I watched it was when they're like after the bridge save and which I don't know how much of a save that was because he did cause like a 30 car pileup. Like he saved that jumper from suicide, but he might have killed like 30 people doing so. That's why like everyone starts clapping at the end. I'm like,
no,
I mean, heroic, I suppose.
The engagement ring bit is really heart-wrenching.
Yes, that when he's trying to pick it up and his giant rock fingers are too big. And then Reed Richards picks it up for him and puts it in his hand. I got chills in that scene. I mean, it really is like a emotional scene.
Can we talk about Reed Richards for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you like or dislike that the alleged smartest character in all of Marvel can just stretch a little? Because that's pretty much all he does in this movie. He's a loser who can't accomplish anything in the field of science, who then goes on to stretch a little. Like, he's pretty much worthless.
You're right, because he comes in, he's lost Jessica Alba because she wanted to move in with him. God forbid that would happen to a man. He does the whole pitch on the science mission. Timeline is totally screwed. That's why the accident happens. I mean, you could say it's a freak of nature or whatever, but even the suits, I think Von Doom and them create them. He didn't even make the suits. All he does is test people throughout the movie, and that's really all he does.
Specific story, he's worse than Victor in every way. And then his scientific feat, sorry to skip forward, his only scientific contribution is that hot plus cold breaks metal. Like,
it's a good one, though. It saves the day.
Come on.
It's like going 0 for 12 from 3, but he hits one at the buzzer. I mean, people forget about the other 12 shots.
It's a wide open layup. Like that's not an impressive feat.
No, very true. I do love that Doom says towards the beginning, Reed's always right. He just never knows what he has exactly. But he's wrong pretty much the whole time.
We don't see that once.
No.
Right at all. Yeah, it sucks because I really did love this movie as a kid. And I still have a lot of for this movie. I truly hated every second. It did not feel like a Fantastic Four movie at all. Between Jessica Alba having nosebleeds and Reed stretching a little bit, this is just I just couldn't stand it.
That reminds me the bridge scene where the three of them are trying to get to Ben, and there's a giant crowd of people, and Reed goes, "There's no way any of us could ever get through this crowd of people, but you can, Sue." And she has to get naked and turn invisible and just, with ease, just says, "Excuse me, pardon me," and gets through every person with no problem.
Like all of them could have done.
He can stretch his legs. Like he could have just stepped over everybody. And then she does it again later in the movie.
Let's stop yourself, Carter. Let's not delete the best scene of the movie.
What is that? That?
Alba gets kind of naked.
Yeah, it's just it once it's like pretty cool. Second time she even says I can't believe I'm doing this again. I feel like that was ad-libbed. It was just her on set being like
Didn't Reed explain later that she doesn't turn invisible? She just is able to bend particles around matter, which is why she can make force fields.
yeah, something like that.
There's no reason her clothes shouldn't be invisible
Yeah.
because
She
it's
can
not
make
like
other
it's not a switch. It's like a bending of particles in light.
Doesn't she
So
make other stuff invisible in the comics or no?
yeah, she makes other people invisible. She makes yeah. It absolutely was just because Jessica Alba's a good-looking lady, which
You know, yeah, you're right. I mean, in the second one, I know that we're talking about the first one, but in the second movie, she and Johnny switch powers at one point, and she flames on and burns all her clothes off and is just naked again for the third time.
which again, pretty cool.
It's just wild that the writers did it in a second movie, and it was the third time.
Pretty sure she took like a decade off acting after these movies.
Yeah, that checks out. I probably would too. I really like her performance. I think she's good. I don't think they give her much to do. She's just kind of like pining after Reed the whole time.
Her, and I hated the backstory, but they at least set her up with an interesting backstory. Like she is with Victor, which again, I don't care for that. It's not
Yeah.
Fantastic Four at all, but at least it does make her complex. Like
Yeah.
the her relationship with Victor doesn't play a role at all. It is
Clearly
pretty much
just a jealous
non.
ploy. Yeah. All right, as far as the third act goes, I actually, like you mentioned earlier, I love the whole segment of Doom going to Ben to cure him, and he does successfully just to get him out of the way. From then on, like it's a pretty exciting conclusion. The Thing and Doctor Doom fight, I actually think is incredible, and they use a ton of practical effects, even for like the bridge scene. Like they use a lot of practical effects for this movie.
I think that the Doctor Doom stuff, I don't know, like it isn't cool to me at all because again, he is a metal man made of metal with Sith Lord lightning powers, and none of
Yeah,
that is Doctor Doom. And the whole brain versus brawn, Doctor Doom versus Thing dynamic that's been going on since the 1950s, it's gone. Doctor Doom
yeah.
is just he's a man made of metal shooting lightning out of his fingers, and I like that'd be really cool if it was Electro from Spider-Man. But
Do you
it's
remember, did you clock this scene where he's in the board of directors when they tell him like they're, pulling his funding and all that? Did you clock how preposterously large their chairs are?
that was
It's insane. They look like little kids.
they look like. Do you remember the Haribo gummy bear commercials where the
Yeah.
kids order him? That's exactly what it made me think of.
I tried to find a photo of it. I still will, but it's so funny. It's like who was like, yeah, we need just the most like preposterously large chairs we could possibly find for these guys.
The fact that they completely decided, okay, Doctor Doom isn't. I mean, he's an American first of all, and he's I guess college, high school buddies with Reed and Sue, and his disfigurement comes from the same accident that caused the Fantastic Four. Like that's enough to me to like disqualify him from being Doctor Doom.
There's one great line. I don't know if you picked up on it. Maybe it's obvious, but when Reed sees him in the Baxter building and he apologizes to Doom for things not going as planned, and he gets really fired up and says, "Go as planned. You ruined the lives of 4 people." I was watching it. I'm like, he's certainly not including Reed in that count. He's talking about himself. Like,
Also, if we can, the only life that was ruined was our guy Ben Grimm.
yeah.
Everyone was pretty stoked on what happened.
He does end up with Kerry Washington though, so I mean he is a rock man, but like it could have ended up
What
worse.
lesson have we learned from that? It's that his fiance left him because he turned to rocks,
Yeah.
which fair, it's not what happened in the comic books, but it might happen in real life. And then the only woman that could possibly love him is a blind lady. Like, I don't
Well, that
know.
is true to the source material. I mean, it's not like they threw that out
I mean,
there, but
yes, his original blind fiance was, I don't know. It just didn't. If you're gonna change so much, then the lesson being, it's okay if you're rocks if your lover is blind. I don't know. Like, what are we doing?
I did love his decision making as far as like waking up and being like, "Oh, I've mutated into a rock man. The first thing I'll do is not seek out my super smart scientist buddy's advice. I'll go straight to my wife and surprise her on the streets of New York at night."
He went to the big and tall store. That was the first thing he did to get a trench coat. Dude, this movie's terrible. I'm sorry. Like, I love it, and it's got a special place in my heart. It's terrible.
You know what the director's movie was before this?
What?
Taxi with Queen Latifah and Jimmy Fallon.
Okay, yeah, that tracks.
The studio saw that and they were like, we found our guy."
We need more. Yeah, no, yeah. There was pretty much nothing Fantastic Four about this movie. Reed was dumb. Johnny was a full-grown adult, a young man. He was also just like a bad dude. Nothing good about Johnny. And the thing was good. I liked it. I liked it. Everything about
the opening scene with where Johnny's introduced and it's just Ben Grimm and Reed outside of the Doom building with binoculars watching him make out with a woman while he's on a motorcycle and she's driving a convertible.
No, there's not a second. Well, that's what he's introduced as a bad guy.
Yeah.
And then the whole the second act of the movie is all pretty much him continuing to be a bad guy. And his only is at the end when he goes supernova and, finish off Doctor Doom. But there's no like, oh, I'm actually Johnny and I'm cool.
I will say, one thing I picked up on was when they are in space and he's just harassing Ben from the jump, as soon as he thinks he's in actual danger, he immediately becomes incredibly concerned and is just, it's clear he loves the guy. He just likes messing with him, but as soon as he thinks he's in trouble, he genuinely like jumps into action and is like like you can tell he's terrified for his buddy.
More of that. Like later on, it was never clear he was joking about calling Ben the Thing. It was really mean.
You know how that nickname starts from the movie is one of the reporters after the BMX event goes, "That thing doesn't look very fantastic." And he goes, "That's the name, the Thing." It's crazy.
No.
That reporter was so out of line.
I watched the movie last night with my wife, and she was dying at moments that were not played for comedic effect. Like the entire movie.
It's always
was
a good
very
sign.
I don't think she's in for Fantastic Four First Steps or.
The reviews came out. It's gotten really good praise so far.
It didn't seem like she was terribly excited.
All right, I'm going to go through some of my favorite quotes I've pulled from this movie. The first one is, "Where are your ears?" Johnny Storm says that to Ben Grimm when he's looking. It's a good question. He just has a big rock head.
This is not kind.
Probably my favorite quote is when Doom's assistant goes, "Sir, Larry King just canceled," and Victor looks distraught. It's aged so well. That's like the tipping point where he's like, "I'm gonna kill all four of these people
because I can't call on Larry King tonight."
And then when the Thing and Reed are fighting towards the end about, arguing about whether he's trying to cure him fast enough, when Mr. Fantastic is wrapped around the Thing, he just yells, "Get off me, rubber boy!" And I love that. I think that's a good one.
You know what I really liked? It was a very small moment, but it was after Johnny's ridiculous show at the BMX circus, whatever he was doing. And the Thing was trying to punch Johnny after Johnny threw the fireball. And Reed stepped between them, and he punched elastic through Reed. Like that was just, like at least we got one moment of Reed looking incredible in some way, I guess. But I thought that was really, really funny.
Yeah, you don't like the big blanket he makes at the end or the fire hose? That's pretty fantastic.
Very much didn't like anything about Reed Richards in this movie.
All right, my last favorite quote. It's more of a moment, I guess, but when the thing's about to walk into the Baxter building, there's a bunch of kids and a huge crowd, and he looks at the kids and they all get like a little scared, and he just goes, "Don't do drugs." And you hear this guy in the background just go, "Yeah!" like really loud.
I love that the parents all pop huge. They're like, yeah, the kids remain terrified.
Oh,
There's
just extremely afraid.
Have you seen any of the clips that have been circulating about the unreleased Fantastic Four film going around
Like
from
from the 90s or the 80s?
like nine? I think it was 84.
I've just heard it's so garbage, I've never even attempted to find it.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard it's terrible. But Doctor Doom is the villain in that movie, and there are a couple monologues that have been trending on Twitter where it's like, at least that guy is Victor Von Doom. I I truly think that Victor Von Doom is what, top five iconic Marvel villains at the
Used to
very.
be, at least.
This is the worst portrayal I could imagine, and I think we might be inbound for a worse one.
With Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, I truly think we. And it's just so it sucks. I really like that character, and
Yeah, I mean, I know it's like I have no idea to a certain extent what the story they're gonna go with that whole Avengers thing is gonna be, but I really wanted Michael Fassbender. I thought that would have been really cool, and I mean that's just one name in a million, obviously. But Robert Downey Jr. Obviously, I love the guy. I love everything he's done. I'm sure he'll play it well, and it'll be much different, like than his Iron Man persona, but just a bizarro choice. I don't know. I think they could have just gone with a
yeah, that
normal
is.
Doctor Doom.
He's a great actor, like one of the best, and he's very cool. Iron Man rules, but it's just like, man, and it finally seems like we're going the right way with Pedro Pascal and making Reed Richards like smart
Yeah.
because he's an idiot in these movies. Even if we're gonna pretend he was science man, he was not smart. And it's I think it's really cool that we're finally accepting like Reed Richards is he's on the same level of intelligence as Bruce Banner, Tony Stark, Hank Pym. I guess they're not really good at making smart characters in this
It'd be
MCU.
awesome if Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom, they didn't like mask his height at all, and he's just his height, or he wears those giant heeled lifts he wears to red carpet appearances. That would be incredible.
He wears a very well tailored suit.
Yeah. Just big giant green like clog heeled shoes. That'd be pretty cool.
But do we want to get into the what we're hoping for the last or for the next Fantastic Four movie?
Yeah, that's going to be our next video. So let's establish kind of our hopes and wants for it before we check it out for ourselves.
I hope the characters are true to their comic selves. I hope Johnny is a little arrogant, but ultimately a sweet teenager, not a 40-year-old womanizer. That would be nice. I hope the Invisible Woman isn't just a helpless damsel. And I hope Reed Richards is more intelligent than your average street man. Like I said, the level of intelligence of Reed Richards, he should at least be portrayed as equal, if not more intelligent than any character we've met. And that should be
100%.
his number one thing. His combat is what it is. He's resourceful, but his intelligence is his strength more so than his stretchy boyness. But
Right, that's just kind of the cherry on top. His real
is a,
superpower is his brain.
yes, and I know we've already seen from the trailers, but as long as Galactus is in a cloud, like
Yeah, that was tough. That yeah. 9-year-old me when the second movie came out, that was a bummer and a half.
Silver Surfer looked really good in that movie though. But I digress.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne voiced him.
What are you hoping for?
My biggest hope, I mean, but beyond everything you said, and like, I hope the story is well written, obviously, like any movie, but I really, and I think they will based on what we've seen in the trailers. I'm really hoping they go more into the sci-fi, zany wackiness of the original comics. And it seems like you see him going to space, dealing with a giant man wearing a giant tuning fork helmet, which is cool. Like, that's what Galactus should be. So I'm just really hoping that they nail that aspect of the stories from old. Like they used to be, as you know, like sci-fi adventures that got like pretty wild and weird. And I just, you know, compared to this movie we've been reviewing, it was just played so straight. They played it as straight as they possibly could, and it just really didn't reflect the comics at all.
I know the new movie is as well, but it's like, why is this in New York City? Like, this is a fantastical event happening, and it's just like, well, there goes Main Street. It's, I don't know, it doesn't seem equal to the fantastical events that are happening. Do not seem equal to the setting at all, and that's a Marvel comic issue. I think that goes beyond the films. That's what by one. I'm a Marvel guy. I think you're well aware, but that's I think the one thing DC does much better than them consistently is at least they invent fake cities. So where we could be a fake world, we could be a Metropolis or Gotham. It's like, oh, Gotham is a mystically cursed city. It's like, yeah, well, sure. I know Chicago, New York is.
What you're failing to forget though is if they did do that in fake cities, we'd never get the needed "you mess with one New Yorker, you mess with all of us" scene, you know? That has to be in it.
But just for Spider-Man.
Happens in like every Spider-Man movie. But every time I'm like, that's right. You don't mess with New York, baby. That's what happens.
Ogbinder's going to do against Galactus, but
They can throw a lot of bricks if they all come together. You never know.
Now we're just jinxing ourselves. There's definitely going to be a scene where someone squirts Galactus with mustard.
Right in the eye. Just srirachas him right in the eyes.
I got him, Reed.
All right. Before we go out, I want to, last week we had Lois Lane's hard-hitting questions. This week we have 4 fantastic facts.
All right.
And I just want to hear your thoughts on these and if you knew them.
Okay.
Number 1. It's for each Fantastic Four member, by the way.
Got it.
First one. It's a curveball. Did you know that Jessica Alba's really hot?
It was one of the first things I knew as a human being, yes.
Yeah, me too. All right, second one. Nope, I don't need any more thoughts. Second question. Did you know that Ioan Griffith was in Titanic?
No.
He's one of the dudes on the lifeboats at the end saving people. He doesn't use his stretch powers one time, though. It's kind of bizarre.
What a jerk.
I know. And he's a liar. I thought he was an American growing up, and I saw an MTV behind the scenes video, like, as a kid, and he was talking in a British accent, and I thought, how's that? That doesn't work. That's not possible. Turns out they can just emulate American accents.
Shut up, Benedict Cumberbatch. Go on. Next question.
All right, this one's a doozy. I can't believe they actually did this, but did you know that Michael Chiklis's Thing suit had a prosthetic rock dong that they had to mold to the shape of his piece, and he had to wear it under the pants the whole shoot?
Do you have the dimensions?
Nah, I could probably find them though, but I think it was going to be a featurette on the DVD and it got cut. There's not much info on it, but it definitely happened. All right, last one. Chris Evans, Human Torch.
No.
Did you know that Chris Evans is hot?
Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen what's it called? Maybe with him and Pedro Pascal and Dakota Johnson.
Yeah, where he's poor but hot, so she goes with him. Spoiler alert.
Oh, but Pedro Pascal, it's Materialist. That's the movie.
Yeah.
The best part of the movie is that Pedro Pascal is rich and also hot.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, there's no ugly option in the movie. It should have been like Paul Giamatti, but sorry, that's a totally different movie.
All right, well, now that you brought it up, I just got to say one more thing about the Materialists, and then we'll wrap the video up. But I love that her biggest qualm with Pedro Pascal is she finds out he got height surgery. Like, he used to be a short king. And he got the surgery to make himself average height, and she can't stop thinking about it. It's pretty good. That's a pretty good, like, crux in the story.
I like that movie.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
It's pretty good. Yeah. We can't get into the materialists right now. Like,
No, no, no. That's a video for another time. All right, well, that concludes our review of Fantastic Four 2005. Thanks for joining us, Luke. I hope you all enjoyed the video. We're going to drop a new video every Wednesday going forward. Ideally, the next one's going to be Fantastic Four First Steps. And if you like what you're seeing, like, subscribe, comment, tell all your friends about us. I hope you all have an excellent day. Luke, thanks for your time, man. I hope you have a great evening.
too, man.